Hello, everybody. Welcome to a nice Saturday here on the Saints stream. I'm Fundy, joined by Dan on the desk here today, and we've got an action-packed round of, playoffs and some CVAL playoffs as well. So we got Overwatch, CVAL. Starting it off, Dan, what can you tell us about this Overwatch game today?
I mean, just starting off with the Overwatch game, this one should be... I feel like we keep saying this every single time Overwatch gets to go on to stream, but this should be the closest match of their season so far. Of course, getting into this later stages of this Activision Overwatch Collegiate Championship, it should be a close one. I think in terms of seeding, the Saints are the favorites this time by, but University of St. Thomas are no slouch. Yes, we're being the 5 seed in this case compared to the 13, but both of these teams in their regular season having a very strong win record. I think 9-1 for both of these squads. So even though the seeds might be a little different in terms of record, it's the exact same.
Yeah, pretty well. There's a ton of teams in this final 16 teams, this 8-game bracket here, where a ton of these teams had 8-2, 9-1 seasons, and the seeding a lot of times, I believe, just came down to map differential and the like. But starting it off, not only are we getting a little bit of a break from Lijiang here to start, we get to see this new map as well. This is one I haven't seen played in Collegiate just yet.
Yes, the rise of the Penguins. We get to see this Antarctic map come on into play here, as we have, of course, on the side of University of St. Thomas. We've got Lucas Abstract going down actually here, Grave on the side of St. Clair. On that I'm doing some solid work to start things off, getting that early initial pick. However, the points being flipped over to the side of University of St. Thomas off the start is going to put the Saints on the backhand. Lucas is going to push on forward, right onto point. Saints are going to capture for a moment's time, but with the amount of Saints that are falling right now, they should be able to switch this back.
Yeah, they have the contest. They're holding it for a little bit longer. And other than this Primal Rage, though, you don't got much to work with if you're the Saints. You're waiting on your supports. Redix gets in there fast enough, but is it enough to save Squeak on this monkey right now? He's able to drop that bubble. Ramatra is in there, but Grave is getting chased down by the tank and this Reaper. Redix tries to keep the squad alive, but when your supports are getting dove like that, it's tough to say as the main tanker, as a DPS, to really stay, active and consistent in these fights. So far, University of St. Thomas handedly taking these ones.
Yeah, University of St. Thomas put the Saints in such an awkward position there. Emran did get a 4-person EMP at the beginning of that initial fight, but with everybody diving onto the supports, like you said, they couldn't really commit to the offense. So they were kind of split between actually going for the attack and trying to save their support line, and in turn, they didn't accomplish either, and that just let St. Thomas so far bring us up to 75% and are in striking distance of taking this first round.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you get a team that's just on that same level the whole time. Absolute devastation. Ooh. 4 kills to come through in the blink of an eye. Abstract finishes off Crime. Will the respawns come in time is the question. You see Redix has switched over to that Lucio. The ball coming out from Squeak. They're trying to get to this point in time just to hit this contestation. Squeak does make it. He's going to have a lot of health to work with as well, but it's 99 overtime on the board. University of St. Thomas, you are 1 point away from this first take here in control.
Yeah, they got 2 ultimates on the board. One of them going to get popped right away there. Lucas charging onto point, and it is a little bit of an awkward battle, as we do see Squeak still just kind of playing around the outside. Death Blossom right in the middle of things, going to take out Crime, and with all the DPS falling, it's just a matter of time, and it is going to be the University of St. Thomas taking round 1 here as a part of game 1.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, like we said, I haven't personally seen this map before, so it's cool to see the way they're playing around these points. That first point that we saw right there seemed to be very advantageous towards the ball, but also towards something like the Ramatra, where you're trying to be that kind of close range, almost like brawling tank, where you're trying to life steal, keep your own health up. We saw Squeak even now, he's switched to the Ramatra as well. Went through both the Winston, the ball, now onto this Ramatra. See if they can hold University of St. Thomas here. If University of St. Thomas going to take a 2-0 in the first game here in control.
And that's what's just so cool about this map. It seems like there's so many little nooks and crannies, so many doors, so many hallways that you can just do to get such different flanking opportunities, elevation changes all over the place. This is not like a one-dimensional map, it feels like, in the slightest here. And it's interesting now, as we see immediately Grave just getting taken down as that Hanzo there. It's going to be Dantuis on the side of University of St. Thomas, just finding his marks immediately, taking 2 down, making this first point looking a little bit dire here. Amaran going to try and hang on for dear life in that ice block, but it is going to be for naught. Saints are going to be pushed off the point once again here, and it's going to let University of St. Thomas take this first one, start building some of that percent, and looking good so far.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you're on the point. Amaran trying to hold it down, has the ice block, can survive a little bit longer. But when your tank in Squeak is being chased down by a solo lone Hanzo and he's winning these 1v2 fights against your tank and your support, sometimes you gotta reprioritize targets. I think that's what the Saints are having an issue with. They can't get in and on to the targets that they're necessarily looking for. You see Grave fall immediately, even with that immortality field. Crime's down as the second player, and now a few players walled out. Amaran, another one to follow. The Saints, they can't even pick up a kill for themselves here. University of St. Thomas is just rolling over them on and off of this point.
That's just such an awkward spot for the Saints to be in. They try to go through that little bridgeway, and for them, it was such a narrow corridor for them to try to walk through. But because there's no walls, it was all just open area. It's just a field day here for Dantuis on the side of University of St. Thomas to just open fire on anybody, finding 2 picks before the real fight really even got the chance to begin. But here we go again, Saints trying to get on through.
Dragons are popped at the starting of this fight. Luca Show is able to shut down that immortality field, maybe get into a little bit of a 1v1 here with Squeak. Amaran is the first casualty to be found from the Saints, followed up by Grave. Noctis on this Lucio. Pop in the speed boost for the team. Keep him topped up when you need it. Crime falls to his doppelganger there on the other side. Noctis takes down Redix with a boop. How long has it been since you've seen a Lucio die to another Lucio boop? I mean, usually they try to recover from that one. This map, though, seems like off the map, not very, what's the word, advantageous to Lucio. I mean, there's a lot of these, like, big rocks and stuff. Looks like he doesn't have much to, like, slide back onto.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff to play with, but not necessarily much to really move around in. So we now see the Blizzard coming on out here from Amaran. Can he find any sort of follow-up off of it? Big battle onto the point. The Blizzard on the other side, this time from Abstract. Lucas Show going to tear on through, and it looks like it's going to be all for naught for the Saints. A last-second dragon attempt coming out here from Crime, but it is going to end up falling short here. The Saints are falling, and University of St. Thomas are showing exactly why they like this new map, apparently, and the Saints may be showing why they're a little bit not familiar with it so far.
Unfamiliar. They just, I mean, I'm just going to say it. They looked a little lost in that second
Fair.
round. First round looked, much closer. They were at least finding the trades back in those team fights in that first control point, and they were able to stall for a good bit. But you look at a player like Dantuis here, he was just violating some of the Saints. I mean, there was a few members, Grave in particular, a player like that who has your immortality field, he's going to be your main form of healing when you've got the Lucio paired up with him. When he's getting taken down at the start of every single fight through his own immortality shield, whether that be broken by the tank there, Lucas Show, or it be broken by the Hanzo, and then Dantuis just finds another headshot as a follow-up. Like, what are you going to do in that fight when your only support is a Lucio to deal with? Absolutely,
and it didn't help too Abstract there on the May. Like in that last play of the game there, like I was mentioning how there was that tight like bridge corridor. But when the door just gets shut on you by a May wall on top of all of that, it just seems like the side of University of St. Thomas were so methodical in terms of where they wanted their fights. They knew where all the nook and crannies are, and they trapped the Saints over and over again to the point where like we really didn't get much time on the capture points at all in either of those rounds.
0% in that second round. I think they grabbed 30-ish like in the first one, something like that. Yeah, but it was definitely all a UST show there as we moved forward. And now as we move forward to the second map, we are going to send it to a quick little break. Actually, we can take a look at the bracket here. Production letting us know they got it. So this is going to be that 2023 Collegiate Overwatch Championship. This is the, I guess, round of 8 or round of 16 bracket here, the playoffs, essentially. It is going to be double elim. Everyone's starting here in the winner's side. Saints looking at University of St. Thomas. The winner of this series facing University of California or University of Illinois. Urbana, I believe that's what it was in their in that bracket. But you just take a look at the teams here. You're looking at a ton of great contenders here in Overwatch 2.
And of course, you don't want to have to drop down to that lower bracket and have to play the long game of sorts and win out that way. But right now, even though, of course, on paper, Saints should be the favorite in this one. Of course, the running joke is if it's a close game on paper, it's probably going to be a blowout. If it stays that way as of right now, our Saints could be in trouble. But I do feel like a lot of that may have been just a surprise factor to the fact that we didn't play Lijiang first map, which is like 9 times out of 10 or like 99 times out of 100 the way Collegiate kind of goes. That's like the Collegiate special of sorts in Overwatch.
We actually got to see that new map. I believe that one's called Echo Point Antarctica, because Watch Point is the elimination one, like the 3v3 map, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that new control map, it's just nice to see another one thrown into the mix there. I mean, we get to see Oasis maybe once out of like 10 series, and it's nice to just switch away from Lijiang. So many teams, so many players just so comfortable on Lijiang. You know, break the mold a little bit. Now, going back to stock standard, we've got Kings Row, Saints Row, as we dub it over here.
Yeah, there's no excuse now.
There's no excuse for performance now. The Saints, you're looking to at least match up with some of this aggression from University of St. Thomas already off the rip. You're seeing much more even trades, damage spreads all around. Lukasho having a tough time actually surviving himself here. Redx, he's the first casualty. Dawn Twist shuts down Crime. This could be what we saw all over again. That's a good charge from Squeak, though, to kind of even out this team fight. He's able to shut down the Mei from the side of UST.
Yeah, tough spot. Donquist, though, just being untouched here in the back lines of the St. Thomas side and just being able to open fire on whomever he deems fit. The point is being captured. Squeak going to look for an additional pick here, but it may be for Naughty. He's the last player, I believe, on the Saints anywhere near this one. University of St. Thomas are going to find themselves this first initial capture point in pretty quick fashion.
And now, as we usually see it, wouldn't be surprised if 2 to 3 minutes from now we find ourselves nearing that last point at the final checkpoint, because typically Kings Row, if a team doesn't capture that first point, the game ends there. If they do capture it in swift fashion like we usually see, wait, there's a big shatter. I believe that was from the side of Squeak. A follow-up from Great. They're able to shut down one. Follow-up on another. Dawn Twist running away. That's going to be a team wipe off of the hammer, off of the shatter. 4 to 5 kills. Respawns back up. Take a look at the ultimates from the side of St. Thomas. They've definitely got a lot to work with coming into this next fight.
I mean, good on Saints here, good on Squeak to find that shatter. I think finding 2 or 3 members of the University of St. Thomas pretty well quickly, but it did feel kind of odd. It felt like he just fired it. Like
it felt like it just happened, yeah.
But anyway, big team fight as we do have the Blizzard alongside the Dragon Shot coming on through, right through the point. That is going to allow for Lukasho to go down. Emran finding the elimination on that regard. But the Saints are going to have control. University of St. Thomas going to slow this down a little bit, wait for their big beefy front line to come on back before they make another play at this.
And see, these are the plays that we failed to see in that first map from the Saints. These ultimate combos, this Blizzard into Dragon. Speaking of Dragon, the response from Dawn Twist here, he's going to get some good damage in there. Ramatra ult online as well for Lukasho. And you do see a Blizzard. This could be a scrappy fight to follow up, but Abstract is out of the fight for now. That's a lot of time going to be saved from the Saints there. They should be good to zone off, take this team fight as a win, maybe even shut down the tank here in the back line.
Absolutely, and just what a way to start off that team fight. That was such a long drive there for Crime to find that shot, but it was so safe as well. Thankfully, though, for him, on the side of University of St. Thomas, they aren't running any flankers at all right now. It's just death ball with a Hanzo.
Yeah,
but if they were, Crime would be in so much trouble with some of these positions he's playing, but he's taking advantage of the opponent's team composition and making it work for him.
Yeah, something like a Genji on the other team could definitely spell disaster, or say a Tracer. Right now, we're seeing the drain back and forth from this Ramatra. Dawn Twist returning the favor back onto Crime. Squeak, Blizzard out in the corner. That is a huge wall from Emran to save Squeak for the time being. Emran's still alive. taken down his doppelganger, but Dauntless and Noctis aren't done just yet. Noctis on the DPS Lucio, he picked up 2. Dauntless was good for 2. Believe Lucas Show found 1 there as well. That's going to be a good, clear, and most likely this next point for St. Thomas. I don't think the reses, I don't think the rotations are going to come out in time to contest this for the Saints. I think they are just going to give it. You can see them playing towards that later wall, that farther choke there.
They might push it one more time here, but that wall from Abstract is going to make things scary. The Shatter there for Squeak going to come on down. It's just going to trade out the tanks, but with so much shielding, they can't even bust through the tank very quickly. Such an awkward team fight here, right on the point itself. The Blizzard coming out here, that one's going to be from Emran's side, but it's not going to matter because Dauntless, Lucas Show, and the rest of the squad from St. Thomas just absolutely deathballed the Saints.
And the from the grave Blizzard coming out from Emran looked like it was going to save their hide for a bit, but in the end, the damage was too much. Lucas Show popped that ultimate as well and just pretty well drained his way through all the way back to full health at the end of that fight. It's a hammer down, burned. There's pretty well no ultimates left from the side of the Saints. You've got 1 dragon to work with, and you're waiting on that next window. Dragons popped immediately. Rapid fire arrows, not going to find much. There's a tank in the back line. You're going to try and shut down Lucas Show. They're able to find the 1 Immortality field down for now. Dauntless and the rest forced to retreat off of this one. Still got 2 minutes, 45 seconds to work with and not too long to go. But as we know on King's Row, this is the corner of death right here.
That's just it. If the Saints can somehow keep it in these S's, it's not too bad. They're going to kill a ton of time here. But one bad team fight, that is the game in threatens, basically, as Dauntless and the rest of the squad charging in once again. A little bit of a couple pot shots, but nobody going down as of this moment. Only a little bit of utility on the side of the Saints. But now that's go time. Squeak charges in, and so does the rest of the side of St. Thomas.
Red X falls as the first one. Dauntless in the far back. He's got Dragon ready. Follow up that Dragon on the window, question mark? He's not going to do it. Spots 2 out in the corner. Look how close they are to this, 1.62 meters away. There's a tank and Crime on the point. Squeak, you got to try and last for as long as you can.
Oh, the Shatter got 2 though.
Shatter takes him down, stalls for a bit, but 10 health on Squeak. He's going to fall in the end to Dauntless, and that might be enough.
Yep.
The Blizzard in the end, Emran falls in his own Blizzard. That's going to be it. A dominant round once again from University of St. Thomas. Saints had some beautiful fights there, don't get me wrong, but about 60-40, it felt like St. Thomas's ultimates were just hitting the mark a little better.
They're hitting the mark a little better. Sometimes just the fight was an uneven fight before it even had the opportunity to really even get started. And
picks have been huge.
Yeah, just Dauntless, we've been saying his name basically a ton during this broadcast already. It's just because he's been finding these random picks. Crime's been trying to match him 1-for-1, but it feels like when the Hanzo duel was happening, more often than not, Dauntless was getting the win in that regard. And it's just been putting the Saints on the back foot before they even have a real opportunity to get a good fight on their hands. But I will say this could have been much worse. The way that first point happened, where it got captured extremely quickly, there could have been 3 minutes on the clock right now.
100.
There's only 1:45. So not too bad, but still slightly concerning.
Yeah, I mean, after that first point, you essentially lasted 6 to 7 team fights for yourself. You chunked out over 3 minutes off of that clock. I would say, yeah, you can feel good about it. Like you said, could have been worse. Definitely looking to match this capture as fast as possible, because now you're pushing for overtime here on King's Row. You don't want to let University of St. Thomas necessarily have as much time to work with, or chunk away any of your time before you really get this capture. You need to come out of here swinging, and with a slight comp change here, Crime on this Cassidy, to see if that's the change necessary to maybe match up this Hanzo in terms of picks here.
Yeah, I wonder if they're wondering if there's going to be anything different coming out of the University of St. Thomas, because I still feel like the Cassidy versus the Hanzo is going to just go right into Dauntless' favor, as we do see Noctis actually on the Lucio going to find first blood, catching Squeak off guard, and slowly but surely the Saints once again are just falling by the wayside, and they're going to be forced right back to spawn.
It is just a brutal fight for them. It's just this side of University of St. Thomas, they play the team fight so well. Even right there, no ultimates needed. You're just winning that war of attrition. Dawn Twist is in the back, absolutely peppering all of these Saints with arrows. And up in the front, Lucasho on this Ramatra has all the healing he's ever needed. Not gonna fall to that. You've got Abstract with the Mei Wall. They're able to cut off rotations from the Saints. It's a beautiful comp, and St. Thomas playing it out beautifully as well. You see they're just corralling all these Saints into the corner. The Saints trying to take this second floor approach, trying to get a jump onto St. Thomas, but they're reading it like a book.
Yeah, they're taking their time, just hiding behind cover, maybe getting a couple peeks here and there, but never putting themselves into too much danger where the Saints could get a pick on them from like a crime shot or something like that. But off to the high ground once again. Dawn Twist again just opening fire into the tank line of St. Clair. When do Saints opt to jump down? Are they just going to park it up there? They have to kind of figure it out quickly because they are going to be losing a little bit of time. But Teamfight looks like it's just right around the corner. Squeak trying to lead a charge with a Fire Strike kill of all things.
Window v window, but look at the kill feed. It's going to go all Saints' way. Noctis, the last line of defense, he falls to Squeak. That's what the Saints have been waiting for. A solid fight where you're picking off those DPS at first. They shut down Dawn Twist, they shut down members only, and after that, the rest fell like dominoes. They're gonna pick up that first one, and 4 minutes and 20 seconds off of the first point. Not bad to work with, if I do say so myself. I think University of St. Thomas had about 5.5.
Yeah.
So you're not too far behind.
Yeah, and they're just going to actually not even wait for the Saints to get into the cart pushing territory. Abstract throwing down the Blizzard immediately and sending the Saints scurrying across multiple directions. Where Squeak's going to end up falling, another one end up falling, I believe, from the side of the Saints as well. But this is awkward now with the Saints all split up. Maybe even an opportunity here for St. Thomas to find one more pick and just stall this out that much more.
They got to help save Crime here.
Blizzard
5 players diving Crime into that backline. You see most of these St. Thomas members all the way over near Saints' original spawn here as they just keep chasing down members one by one. The Stagger's helping them out a lot as Saints can't really push past this archway here. That is a big beat drop from the Lucio to save a few lives there. But Grave and Crime have something to say about it. The whole lot of them find the 3K, and everyone else waiting for Saints to push this cart forward now.
Okay, for the longest time, that was just pure chaos. Just even for a little bit there, St. Thomas looked like they were the ones kind of forcing the chaos to happen, splitting the Saints up and just trying to find pick after pick. But somewhere down the line, the Saints were able to respawn, kind of recuperate a little bit, found a pick or two, and got that shatter there from Squeak as well. And it just kind of sealed the deal and got them past that hard part in terms of pushing the cart. Now over towards this second point. They are right on the corner. We'll see if University of St. Thomas opts to take a fight. We do have a flank available, and it looks like it's going to be Lucasho going in, but actually Squeak with the shields in hand just going to dive on forward.
Yeah, he's trying to go straight for Dawn Twist. They've realized who the big baddie is in these fights, who they really need to take down. Dawn Twist alive for the time being. He's dropped the dragons. He's finding kills. Squeak's getting low, but so is Lucasho. He's down to 7 health, falls to Grave, and nice Crime popping heads.
Okay.
As the 3 left, Crime, Red X, and Grave, they make it happen. They push this forward through that next point. You're on this final choke point. You've got 3.5 minutes to work with. Ultimates, though, a far cry from perfect right now. Still do have the shatter soon. You're looking at the Deadeye. All you need is that Grave window, and you've got a nice combo to find yourself there.
Yeah, the Saints were able to get this at least halfway through those S's, but now here comes University of St. Thomas on the attack once again, trying to stop this from happening. That is an awkward spot to have to deal with the Blizzard on top of this. This is going to mean Squeak is gone without question. Looks like the rest of the Saints are going to be short to follow. They just absolutely enclose them into an awkward position, trap them once again, and just like we've seen on every round basically so far in this series, University of St. Thomas able to use the environment and their abilities to just pigeonhole the Saints.
And that's exactly what I mean when I just say St. Thomas's ultimates have just been hitting the mark a little bit more. It seems like every time one of them is thrown out, whether it be a beat drop from Noctis, a Blizzard from Abstract, or even say, a window from members only, it always seems like it's guaranteeing at least 1 or 2 kills in the team fight, if not more, like you just saw from that Blizzard. But now, speaking of the team fight, Squeaks found themselves in a tough position, do have the hammer down available, pop it through the payload, but it doesn't touch anyone. The beat drop in response. Squeak, what are you gonna do? Stuck in the corner, Luca Show is keeping it running with this ultimate. 4 kills to the tank.
Okay, we probably see play of the game right there, but that was just tough there for Squeak in particular. I saw what he was going for. He had 95% on his ult charge. Dive on in, get your shatter, and then fire it off. However, Maywalls and just a bunch of other things interfered with that to the point where by the time he got his ultimate charge, he was down to maybe 50 health. Yeah. So he would either have to just kind of for glory send it, or he had to back off. And it just made it so that it was just minimal value. But the Saints coming with another attack. 2 ults on the board. Let's see if they can do it.
Abstract popped into his own ice block there. Dawn Twist in the back shuts down the long-range DPS from the Saints. Grave jumping away from these arrows, and every single time it seems like they've found something. Dawn Twist is the bearer of bad news for the Saints. Squeak left in the back, not able to shut anyone down with that charge right there. And as of right now, University of St. Thomas look like they might be on track to make this hold, this 3rd point hold, shut down the overtime that the Saints are desperately trying to push for.
Yeah, we're still kind of stuck in this S area, and I don't blame Dawn Twist for feeling himself a little bit. It's just been absolutely popping off this series. Finding the headshot on a dead eye using Cassidy there made it just that much better. But as the next team fight comes on through, tanks face first with each other, button heads a little bit. But now, Saints are going to be able to turn the corner, but can they make this final straightaway? They only have 40 seconds left, and here comes the Blizzard to maybe finish a job.
It's down and it's hit too. It's gotten Crime, it's gotten Squeak. That's such a big part of your team fight. No tank, no supports, nobody even left.
Oh, they're going to have to rush now.
The Saints right now. Now they're making this push, but you see, Lucas Show has this ult available. He knows exactly what the Saints are thinking. Blocks the hammer down with the deployable shield as well, and insta shuts down Squeak. Redix, next one to follow, and even with Crime here on the Tracer, the timing most likely not going to work out for yourself. He tries to dash in, he has to try and contest, instantly shut down. That's kind of just been the story for the Saints in this second little bit here. After that second point, instantly shut down. It's the only way I can describe it. University of St. Thomas, they've got this defense on lock. They're taking map 2. They've brought themselves to match point here. Next, we're going to be moving on to, I believe, a push map, or no, a straight payload map. So I think we got Route 66. I think Dorado is an option in there as well. Not surprised to see this as a play.
Okay, yeah, this was probably his 4K, if I do recall correctly, right? Just absolutely
amazing ult.
Shredded on through, pops it, and then, yeah, just runs through the entirety of the Saints, just one after another. 6 shots. Who says the tank can't flick?
Honestly, and if you ask me, that's like the prime moment to use a Ramontra ult. You see a Maywall come down behind, you see 3 players grouped up, pop the ultimate, start punching, and it works. But we're going to send it to a quick little break before we get into map 3. We'll see what they pick when it comes down to this payload map. And will the Saints, do they got anything left in the tank right now? Because UST is just on top of their game today, and they are shutting them down in these past few maps. Let's see the decisive map 3 after this. This is it. The pick has come through. Rialto is going to be possibly our decider of the series today to who moves on towards that second round in the winner's side here of the Collegiate Overwatch Championships for spring 2023. University of St. Thomas, they've taken the first two maps fairly easily, I want to say. Control was a straight-up stomp. Kings Row had much closer of a game. Saints were pretty well able to take it almost to that last point. Now, as we get straight into Rialto here, Saints starting off on that defensive side. University of St. Thomas looking to take this payload all the way through till the end.
Yeah, and hopefully this is a little bit more of a comfort pick here for the Saints. I mean, I would have said Kings Row is a comfort pick, but I mean, who's playing Overwatch in 2023 doesn't have Kings Row as their comfort pick? So I guess now that we got the pharmacy combo coming out here for the Saints, this is something the Saints have been doing pretty consistently throughout most of the season. It's been very solid, but it's going up against the Echo here of Dawn Twist. Instead of having that Hanzo, switching to something a little bit more mobile, and as of right now, Amarin is going to find the better of him. Gets the first initial pick. It's the St. Thomas squad on the attack initially, kind of held up for a moment, but with Noctis getting the revive, they might be able to get back into the attack sooner than we think.
Grave, is he onto something? I see him backing out pretty early there before the Tracer even makes it, but right now, Amarin and Redix on that Mercy getting chased down. This Echo not giving them a second to breathe. Dawn Twist, he got res the second he got picked off. Instantly back into that fight. Lucas Show now on the D.Va. This is one of the maps where we actually do see D.Va get picked as well, which is always nice to see.
Just like that.
All the way over towards the other side. He's chasing down Redix here too. Amarin falls from members only. He did take down Dawn Twist in the process, so you're, DPS for DPS. Mercy kind of just lost their friend for the time being. Both sides, DPS now back up. Double ultimates available for both teams.
Yeah, the D.Va really makes you play the game of where's your focus going to be. Because I am going to punish your supports if you don't deal with me. But if you focus me, I'm just going to let my team go and run through you all. But that being said, to start things off, it looks like the option is ignore the D.Va and just go for the team. Crime finding the double early in this fight. The University of St. Thomas have been able to get some decent distance right on the doorstep of the checkpoint, but the Saints, with Squeak finding the last little one there onto the baby D.Va of Lucas Show, is going to shut this down. But we do have a couple of ultimates right on the doorstep here for St. Thomas. This next one could get a little messy.
I think the crazy part about that fight was that Lucas Show pretty well shut down almost the entire nano rocket combo from Amarin, and they were still able to take the victory in that fight, but a big D.Va bomb is going to shut down your combo that you're really playing for in these team fights. Squeak and Grave, last one's alive.
The fact that members only as well found the sleep dart onto the flanking Crime means this is going to be a 2-on-5 right on the doorstep of these, the capture point. Yes, Red X and Amarin are going to be back, but being up in the skies, they're not going to really be able to contest this very well. The bombs or the mines are going to come on out here from Squeak, but he's going to fall pretty well instantaneously. Abstract going to find one, could just get the revive actually here from Red X, but now Amarin popping from the far side. Crime does have that bomb available, does get an opportunity, not going to go for the Echo. That would have been a hard target to try and squeak down, but slowly but surely the Saints have been just kind of gnawing at this University of St. Thomas squad, and it wasn't necessarily the cleanest, but they do win this fight.
And a big part of it comes from that D-Mech as well. They took the Lucas Show, put him into Baby D.Va form at the starting of the fight, and it pretty much lets a Crime dash around in the backline, not have to worry about getting pushed around or followed back by that D.Va, as well as just Amarin and Redix kind of get free roam of the skies there. Which takes a lot off your mind when the tank pretty well gone for the fight. Speaking of gone for the fight, Lucas Show's taken a lot of damage, but will the poke be enough? Those shields and the healing from the Mercy sometimes proves stronger.
There we go. That's going to be the juiced up Pharah that we were looking for. Nano rockets coming on through, gets two to say the least. Dawn Twist going kind of back to his sniper ways with that Ash, but it is not going to keep the Saints away from them. And Saints, did they get this? They secured the 0-point shutout.
They did it before that first checkpoint. They were super close to that one too. If I'm not mistaken, it's right on the other side of that arch.
Yeah.
Right when you hit that one, but yeah. They held it down, 94 meters only for University of St. Thomas. Now University of St. Thomas is in a tough position because they have to match this or the Saints just take the map. We move on to game 4.
I mean, that's exactly what the Saints would end up needing, a map like this where you get the shutout, you're feeling not feeling yourself a little bit because the first two maps kind of hurt a little bit, but maybe it's giving you those competitive juices again. Then hey, we can compete with these guys, and as we could see, the cart was just right there in the bottom right. Yeah, as soon as you get under that archway, that's where the capture point basically is. So they were meters away from finding that first initial point and maybe able to get some additional distance. But big props to the Saints by getting that shutout.
Right, yeah, you can see
here it is, yeah.
Just a few feet, 40 pixels maximum to make that movement there. They weren't able to get it, and the Saints just did a great job of zoning off of that point in the end with both Squeak on the ball, Crime messing around in the back line there and everything. Of course, can't forget about this Pharmacy combo that pretty well carried them through that round as well, and did a really good job matching up to Dawn Twist, which is something that Crime and Emerin, as much as I love the guys, they've been having a tough time doing that in this series so far, and the Pharmacy seems to be working out so far. You see Dawn Twist, though, he's switched up to this Cassidy. They're getting rid of their combo. They're just back to the Zen and the Ana.
I mean, this should still be very difficult. Seeing Dawn Twist back onto one of these hit scan DPS compared to last time where they tried something different and it really didn't work out too well. They know they need to deal with this Pharmacy combo, so trying to deal with it as fast as they possibly can. However, they've been playing very safe. This is why it's so good on this map. All these rooftops, all these walls just make it so hard to actually target the Pharah, and Amarin doing exactly what he needs to do, finding the shots and finding the Zenyatta pick on members only.
Yeah, Emerin gets to sit here and play Assassin's Creed and parkour around from rooftop to rooftop, all while there's these little archways, these little windows where any little bit of splash damage, A, going to be boosted up by that Mercy, and B, these indoor areas are so tough to try and just not get absolutely wiped by that Pharah. He's already 68, 70% towards that ult. The only person even close is going to be the Ana from the other side, who has been healing on the double so far, and Saints have just continually inched this forward. It's going to take Dawn Twist with close to a 3K to shut this down for the time being, but you've got just under 3 minutes to make 3 meters as your final push.
I mean, they shut down that push, but it really required Dawn Twist to pop off there. And I'll give him credit. He found so many headshots at the beginning of that fight, and on some really, really mobile characters too. Getting the headshot onto the Tracer there, or onto Crime, was just absolutely fantastic in its own right, don't get me wrong. But now that the dust is kind of settled and the Saints have the opportunity to regroup, there isn't a whole heck of a lot in terms of ultimates that the University of St. Thomas can use right now to shut off a good push. Maybe in the next team fight, but they have to survive this one first.
You need an amazing Deadeye, possibly the Nano combo as well, to really shut this one down. And the key thing for University of St. Thomas right now, I think they have to try and make it through this fight without burning the 3 ults that are about to be available, because Lucas Show's about to hit it, you're about to have that EMP, but you need to try and almost just get Dawn Twist. That's a great way to start. Shut down one support, find another in the air. Emerin's down, follow up on that Mercy. That's a nice little wipe. Squeak out of the fight for the time being. He's just gonna hop off, deny some alt charge, stop Noctis from getting any more, and that is exactly what you needed that fight to do. You use the Nano and nothing else.
Okay, are we ready for a cluster? Because this is about to be one. The only thing University of St. Thomas used in that fight was a Nano boost, and we are about to have 9 ultimates ready for this fight with very little time left on the clock. So I feel like, in theory, the Saints need to kind of conserve their ults, assuming that they win, but there's no guarantee that they can win. So let's see how this goes, and that is absolutely worst case scenario. Grave immediately taken off the table, but so is Noctis. The Anas are both immediately traded out here. Can Squeak find a little flank there? Actually finds the Sombra. That's actually huge. Abstract going down. No EMP this fight. It's been scrappy, but it's been in the Saints' favor.
Yeah, they're pushing it forward now, and Saints favored is a big one, as the res from Redx onto Grave just gave them so much more in this fight that we were not expecting them to have in the first place. The EMP is going to be popped, but Emerin shuts it down immediately. Abstract gone out of the fight. 54 meters, or 0.54 meters to go. The only one holding it down, one by one, is Lucashow, trying to stay mech'd up here for as long as possible. Down to the Baby Diva, down to 150 health, down to 0 health, as that's going to be the Saints taking their first map in this series. 2-1. We are not seeing a clean sweep today.
Okay, honestly, like, shout out there to Lucashow for hanging on as long as he did on that point, because that was basically a Hail Hail Mary play that actually went pretty nicely. Play of the game is going to be credited to Lucas Show for, I think, the second time here in this game for a very, very clean way to get rid of the pharmacy combo, considering there's no walls up in the skies really in that position for you.
Listen, you're playing D.Va, you don't really got the range to work with. You pretty much just got infinite shotguns on you. So, yeah, you could try to hit them for 5 damage apiece, or just burn that ultimate, guarantee the kills there. But in the end, we didn't even see that map go past the first point. The Saints were able to take it on that defense, able to keep it moving, and pretty confidently, I'd say that's got to be one of those games, especially, you know, you're on match point. You take that one in a fashion like that, it feels good knowing that that was your map pick, knowing that you're on your comfort, and now you're performing, right? The jitters are out. Got to look towards map 4.
Yeah, that's having a couple of those plays go their way as well really made things beautiful there. First off, getting the shutout on the defensive side of things, absolutely beautiful, feeling good off the top there. And then that last fight where I was saying that it was going to be a cluster, it ended up just kind of being a trickle fest or like a pick fest, to be honest.
One after one.
Saints doing it that way, the fact that they found that pick on the Sombra, because that EMP was basically going to, in theory, just roll the fight if it was a Deathball v Deathball kind of style. But by finding that Sombra, the Saints were able to make sure that they forced St. Thomas into that really awkward position where Lucas Show had to just try to be a Titan, basically, and hold that point by himself for even a chance at getting that held. In the end, falling, but there we go. That's the Saints that we were looking for. They get the W here, and soon enough, we have Game 4 on the horizon. Going back to a control point question mark. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. We're going to push. Right, of course, the new game mode, or newer game mode, I should say.
New-ish game mode. For us Overwatch boomers out here, the new game mode.
Exposed.
Here we are. Believe this one is Colossio, I believe this map is called, if I'm not mistaken. Esperanza is this one. I think Colossio is going to be the other one with a lot more pillars, a lot more beige, but this, I guess it's supposed to be Italy? Some European town. Portugal.
Okay. So basically, I don't blame you for not knowing that, because let's break down the Saints season in just a couple of words. Endless 3-0s. We've never had the opportunity to really even get to push, maybe outside of one time early in the season. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. I know first time myself casting a push game mode here, but let's see how the Saints end up doing here on this map, see if there's any picks. It's actually going to be Squeak on the D.Va this time.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the occasional Overwatch League game make it to those push maps, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, here in Collegiate, we see, let's just say in Overwatch, we see a lot of stomps, because when you have one team that is just on point and they are feeling it, they can just keep that momentum rolling. However, at the starting, Squeak picks up the D.Va. The momentum not there for him as Dawn Twist and Lucas Show shut him down. Now, Saints, you're going to be playing catch-up for a second here as you're waiting for Squeak.
Yeah, like I know Squeak likes to play that evasive tank, like kind of like the Wrecking Ball kind of style, where you go in, just be a nuisance, and then like run away before anything happens. But that D.Va play just got immediately shut down there. Beautifully done there from the side of University of St. Thomas, of course. But Demerin and Redix back on the Pharmacy. Crime here on the Tracer. And Grave going to be on the Kiriko. Let's see if they can push on forward. Squeak again, going to get D-Mex rather early into this fight. But a little bit of a back and forth right on the robot.
Yeah, I think as of right now, this D.Va defense matrix is doing absolutely nothing against the side of University of St. Thomas. You've got Abstract and Lucas Show who can get by it. Crime somehow squeaking out a kill there with only 10 health to his name. You pick up 2, can test up this bot for as long as possible. Even with the remech D.Va from Squeak, should be able to clear this one out. That's going to be them grabbing it back. Only 26 meters given to the one side. And this is the one thing that I personally like about the push map is that you're not switching sides, right? Both teams are playing towards the exact same objective. And like I said, haven't seen it in a full team match here just yet. There's the justice from above. Emerin uses it for just one pick, but that's going to give them a lot of time and might even be able to give them the lead here in terms of distance.
I mean, I know it's the meme of like, LOL, you solo ulted somebody, but if you could burst out the tank, that shuts down any sort of contest you have on that robot or on the push objective
10 to 15 seconds.
for a good 15 seconds, yeah. So It's going to put St. Thomas back on the standstill. The Saints have surpassed them in terms of push distance as of this moment, but still not by much. And they are just having such a difficult time dealing with Emeren and Redix here up into the skies. That's making things extremely awkward. Lukasho and the rest of the squad going to try and make their move now as the beat gets dropped.
They have to burn everything. The Blizzard came out as well. Window, all of the above, but you've got Redix right there in that Valkyrie mode. He's going to be available for the heals. Got that chain healing, that chain damage, but will it be enough? Not in the long range, because you're focusing, you're banking on Emeren being your main source of damage and Crime just kind of finding those picks. You can't win out the long range up against a Cassidy, up against a Baptiste here. It's just not going to work out. They've got the hit scan advantage, I guess, let's say here, from UST, and it means the Saints, they have to take these fights smart. They might have to give up a fight or two to allow themselves to get into a prime position here.
And the Saints have never truly fallen until here. We're going to see the Deadeye just at the worst possible time there for Emeren as the barrage does go off. So immediately taken down. Lukasho going charging on through with his ultimate triggered as well. It is going to allow University of St. Thomas to get right on the doorstep of matching the Saints in terms of distance, and now shall surpass as the rest of the Saints fall. St. Thomas get past that 50-meter push mark and are going to take the lead.
Yeah, that's the first checkpoint as well, so pretty well now. This thing never gonna move back in terms of that, and now it's gonna stop at that moment for a sec. Wait, contested, then that bot's gonna keep moving forward, but first checkpoint is a big one there. There's only 2 points to go, and the problem is once you make it past into these long archways, it's a long, arduous run back 50 meters the other way. You can find a team wipe, but you're working through 2 or 3 more team fights before you can actually even get back to where your own bot was set up previously. It's kind of the, I guess, the push-pull of this push mode. Poke's going back and forth here, but overall, no picks to really be found just yet.
Yeah, lots of damage across the board, but nobody going down. Valkyrie going to be popped by Redix, looking to get aggressive here with Emeren by his side. Squeak moving on forward. Again, lots of low health bars, but the Deadeye is going to come out here from Dauntless, not going to find its mark. Crime going to immediately find the flank onto them. But Noctis, the DPS Lucio of sorts, going to go 1-for-1 with Crime. Back and forth this goes, but still so far, University of St. Thomas, they might be battered and bruised, but they are staying strong on the point. One more left. Emeren and Redix looking to clean this up and maybe finally give the Saints an opportunity to breathe with the cart.
Abstract with this ice block has just been
so annoying.
stall of the year. The wall, the ice block, Blizzard in the back pocket if they really need it. And right now, the Saints, with as many kills as you've been able to find, it took you a long time to finally get control of this bot. But now you can run it back, start moving it the other way. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. We haven't hit that middle point of the map yet. The Saints are still running through all of their area, all of their spawn zone, and UST already back up, ready, and in position to absorb this team fight as it comes through.
And they're going to have some pretty scary ultimates on board. And we're going to start off with actually Emeren, who fires off the barrage, only taking out a little bit of utility, though. No deaths as of this moment. Lukasho looking ready, has the ult available as necessary as well. Abstract going down, does not pop the Blizzard prior to. Going to save it for later, but with one member down, the Saints can maybe get this cart, or this objective rather, back to the point that they were before, but being contested very badly here. Lukasho going to go down. Crime there with that pulse bomb right on point. Dawn Twist super low, goes down as well from Squeak, and the Saints get themselves 2 very solid team fights, but now they got to push this thing as fast as possible.
They get themselves a checkpoint, have to wait for this bot for a second here as it's going to keep moving. But like you said, yeah, you got to push this as far as possible because these respawning St. Thomas members, 4 out of 5 ults available, the 5th on the horizon there from Dauntless, and all of these players have had very key ults. I think the only one that we haven't seen straight up wipe a team fight on its own is members only, and that's because he requires another player to really make use of his ult there. But other than that, we've seen Noctis win team fights with these beat drops. Lukasho, I don't think we need to talk about his Remultra ults just yet. And the Blizzards, we've yet to see one from Abstract, but they've been on point. Emeren rains from above, finds members only. That's 1 down. You're able to burn out that beat drop as well. 3 ultimates left up for the side of UST as the fight so far going Saints' way.
Okay, I don't remember Fire Barrage coming back online as quick as Emeren is making it feel. It feels like he has a barrage basically every single fight, but it just goes to show how much poke damage that they have been able to do prior to some of these fights even happening. And in this last team fight example, they were able to find the quick pick there onto Dontuous, who has been kind of relied on for his sharpshooting skills to win these team fights. Like, taking him off the board nice and quick was insane, but now we have yet another one. Blizzard on the floor. Let's see what happens.
Anteed up, though. Abstract going to have a hard time living through this. The Ice Block going to save them for now. Noctis shuts down Redix for the time being. That's going to be the Farmer Seed down. Squeak responds with a great little Diva Bomb of their own. Pulse Bomb down onto Abstract. No Ice Block to save yourself now. Crime keeps dashing around the fight, keeps being this nuisance of a Tracer that you'd expect them to be, but Dontuous with some well-placed shots. He's going to find that one. Nade going to go a little wide onto Grave. Noctis helping him out in the end. Squeak at this point looking to see if they can stall any more time, trying to wait out for some of these respawns. Pretty well, though, just waiting to get picked down. Redix staggered up once again. The Saints, you're going to be waiting a little bit before you can get a prime position here set up.
It's remarkable the staying power of the University of St. Thomas, given how many players they lost extremely quickly into that fight. To still end up winning this team fight was absolutely remarkable, and Saints were so close, but now with 1:30 left, they are down by just about 2 meters. They need to get that robot back, but as we see, University of St. Thomas in control, bring this right back to where they were, and maybe trying to get a little bit of extra distance for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you're only up by 2 meters right now. Yes, you've held the lead, but you gotta keep it moving. Can't risk the Saints coming back. This is a beautiful part about a push map. Overtime does not stop until someone hops off of that bot. We've got a minute to play here. There's always a chance for a miracle overtime run to happen. Emeren.
This again.
Once again, uses that solo ult, shuts down the Lucas Show, who's now switched on to the Doomfist from the last fight. Dontuous and members, though, keeping these kills alive, and you shut down the Pharmacy combo. The last time this happened, they easily won that fight. It took Crime and a nice Pulse Bomb, a nice Diva Bomb to even keep them in it for longer, but now you see them on the run.
Oh, wow, Grave getting out there just by a hair. But the problem here, let's look at that ult count. That's almost 5 of them on the side of University of St. Thomas. And it's all up to a nano boost, which has been thrown onto Squeak. Point blank shotguns. Let them have it. Send it and try and see what you can do. Get control of this bot. 12 seconds left on the clock. They need to win this. It's a bit of a back and forth. The support lines for both sides getting basically taken down. Noctis still hanging in there for just a little bit longer. There's the Doomfist. Luke Show coming in from the skies, just making it even more difficult. The Saints need somebody on that bot at all times. Otherwise, this game and this series will be over. But let's see what they can do. Lucas Show nearly going down, but it started to slow down for just a second, but Saints did have control.
Yeah, that's going to be a good stall there from the Diva Bomb. Squeak, you have to try to soak this one up with the Defense Matrix. Either that or just let Dontuous run out the clock. But the overtime clock is ticking. University of St. Thomas are in it for the win right now. And Saints, being this close to your spawn, you're going to be able to contest for a while.
There goes.
But all it takes is the team wipe. University of St. Thomas is going to be taking this series 3-1. They're going to be moving on through playoffs. Saints, you're going to find yourself in that loser's bracket.
Well, we just got to learn, of course, that seeding is not everything, but still a solid series in their own right. Congratulations to the University of St. Thomas. Play of the game here is still going to go to Crime, though. It's a nice little small victory in its own right, just going absolutely nuts. Yes, this was actually kind of funny when Noctis and Crime just kind of traded 1-for-1 with each other. But yeah, for the first time in a while, I feel I can say, unfortunately, our Saints just dropped the series.
Yeah, I mean, look, like we said, both of these teams 9-1 coming out of those Swiss rounds in the Collegiate Championship, and you know, you're only dropping, I believe they only dropped to either Northwood or the Red Hawks, one of those, you know, another one of those schools that is
possible,
up here in this playoff bracket, right? Everyone in here is a good contender. These are the top 16 of over, I think there was over 200 teams in this. So there was a ton during those Swiss rounds there. I mean, Saints found the loss today. UST taking the better of them, but definitely showing us that, you know, they're still the Saints, especially in that map 3, in that push map. They kept it competitive. I think they're just a little thrown off their game by that first map, and Kings Row was just played out very, very well by UST.
Yeah, and then a lesser team would have had those 2 games happened and just like lost all confidence, and game 3 would have been a wash. But of course, fighting all the way until the very end. But it's not the very end of their run per se. They do still get to drop down into the lower bracket. They have round 2 happening around 4 o'clock. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to catch them on the broadcast side of things. But we could possibly see them next week if they're able to turn it around against one of the other teams that happen to drop.
Yeah, like we said, this is double elim. Losers bracket is always there, and we love to hear a story of a miracle losers run, especially here on the broadcast.
Do it for the content.
Yeah, all for the content. Let us make a nice story of videos. Start the Saints story of there. But in all seriousness, that's Overwatch done and dusted for today.
But we're not done.
We're not done today. 4 p.m. We've got CVAL. I think this is round of 8 now. We are moving deep into these CVAL playoffs. The Saints coming up against Rochester University there. That's going to be at 4 p.m. I will be returning on the mic. You guys will get blessed by another Ryan cast here as well. But thank you for joining me for Overwatch, Dan, helping out with a lot of the Overwatch info that kind of slips my mind sometimes.
Hey, my pleasure. It's the first time I get to actually cast at this desk. I get to watch you guys cast here all the time, and I'm just like,
it's fun to smack the desk. I'm not going to lie.
When's my opportunity? Yeah. And thankfully today ended up being that day. But of course, Ryan's going to come on in and join you during Valorant. I know the Valorant squad, especially for you who were casting and working yesterday. You've had the...
Let's say
had a day and a half, basically. That was a long game. So not only the commentators and the production staff, but the Valorant squad, after a very long match yesterday, best of 3 going pretty much the distance. Good to see if they can repeat or make it a little quicker here in some CVAL.
Yeah, they've spent a lot of time in the server recently. Hopefully, they aren't going to find themselves burnt out because we've got an important match today coming up. But we're going to send it off to a break, a much longer break this time. But we will return at or around 4 for that CVAL round of 8 matchup.